making my cookie dough. Hello my love, I hope you're okay. I thought we could spend a reset day together. It's actually a Sunday when I'm filming this, but you can have your reset day whenever fits your schedule best. But I thought we could do this one kind of together, do some things, and you can have me on in the background as you're going about your day. If you are new here, my name is Olivia Jarvis. I am a fitness content creator, so I have just finished an ultra marathon in Africa, in Botswana. I need to fully debrief you on that. I also have come from a bodybuilding background, so I competed in bikini bodybuilding. It'll be over a year ago now. It's diverse, and I also make lots of healthy recipes and just bring you along throughout my productive days and routines. If that is your kind of thing, then I feel like you'll like my content. But let's get into our day. So I've woken up, just got myself ready. I washed my hair last night, so my hair it's fluffy right now. And I'm just gonna hop in the car and go to a Pilates class. I'm meeting my two best friends there, so we'll go and get that done. And then I feel like I want to catch you up on quite a few things. I got back from Africa a week ago now, so I've been recovering from completing an ultra marathon, and I want to touch on a little bit what I've done, like what I've learned from that too in this video, and then also make some recipes today, get on top of a few errand type things. So let's get into it. We're about 15 minutes away. I did not realise this studio was a whole 52 minutes away, but I'd already booked at that point. I thought it was about 40 minutes max, but it's all good because it is a Sunday, so I've had a little bit more time. And I just put on a Emma Grede and Mel Robbins collab podcast on. I'm really enjoying Emma Grede at the moment so much. So she founded Good American, and I think she's got like 5 other brands, to be honest, and she just brought out a book as well. If you haven't heard of her before, she's super motivational. She's a mum of 5 kids as well, which is insane. So I love listening to people like that, like take so much inspiration. I really like her energy as well, like absolute boss of a woman. If I've ever got a long drive, I'll always put on something like that. But then also, you know, at the minute, you know, when you're like, not everything always needs to be kind of self-help or really deep stuff. Like I'll put on Sophia and Chinthia, the girls' bathroom sometimes, like if I want something more chill, which I think is just as important. Like you don't always need to be filling your head and like thinking really deep, especially if you are an overthinker like me. That's what I've realised anyway. Or I'll have like Audible on. Currently reading, there's a few books actually I've gotten to go, but one that has really struck a chord is How to Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, which is like not an old, well, it is quite an older book actually, such a classic. Like you may have already read that one. Even if you just started reading 3 pages a day, I feel like that's more sustainable. Anyway, I'm on my way to this Pilates class. It's an intermediate class, so God knows what to expect. I feel like with Pilates, you do not know if you're going in to a pain cave, like it's going to be really intense, or if it's kind of like a stretch. I'm craving a stretch, but if it's intermediate, God knows what we're getting into. But I'm meeting Ella and Katie there. So we actually did a class together yesterday as well. Like I'm enjoying on a weekend just doing whatever I feel like doing, and especially after the ultra marathon, which I need to properly sit down with you to talk about. Okay, I rang Ella a second ago, just having a little bit of a moment because I'm going to be a little bit late, and I didn't want to be late to this because I'm actually really looking forward to it. The studio looks really nice, but I was just thinking something's flying around my head today.
Use the right lane to turn slightly right.
Which is show up in the mess. It's really easy to get swallowed, you know, when life's like a little bit lifing, which it always flipping is, because I think you can wait for things to calm down, or like, you know, you're like, oh, I'll have more time, or maybe when my life's not as busy or as this, and then that time never comes around, does it? Ever. So why not just like show up in the mess, like keep it real, keep it moving. That is what I'm telling myself. This is a little pep talk to myself this morning as I had a little moment, because I was thinking, why have I not vlogged recently? Like vlogging is my favourite thing, creating content is one of my passions. I've done it since I was about 9 years old, and it makes no sense to stop doing that. And it's also why I felt a little bit off recently, which is crazy, isn't it? Like sometimes the things that bring us most happiness, if they're not done to a certain standard or like in a certain headspace, we stop doing them, which doesn't make logical sense. Guess who may have cut her fringe back in herself? That's the second time I've done that this year. I just realised it had really grown out. And when it gets past my chin, my fringe, like this little poofy bit, I don't like it. Like I don't like it this short, and I do it every single time whenever I take matters into my own hands. And I know Jude, my hairdresser, when he sees this, he's going to be like, why do you do this? You could just pop in and see me. As in, like, he always says, if you ever need a fringe trim, just pop in. But I get these weird impulses with my fringe, like I need to do it there and then.
Slight right.
That's how I spent the Saturday night, like cutting my fringe with my kitchen scissors for no reason really. Okay, there's a bit of building work going on, but God, this fringe is killing me right now. I'm going to do 30 minutes on the Stairmaster. Missed that Pilates class, was too late, which is fine. So I've come to do 30 minutes on here, grabbed a coffee with Ella and Katie, debriefed, came up with a plan for this week, talked through loads of stuff, which was great. And then I'm gonna get some cardio done, do a little bit of a stretch, and then get ourselves home. But we're winning the day, we're winning the Sunday. I feel like a bug with these little flappy bits. Oh my God, I forgot that I'd ordered a food shop kind of late last night. This is my favourite thing to do on a Saturday or whatever day, but have it delivered for Sunday so that you're set up for the week and you're not having to think about doing your food shop. So I'll show you what I have picked up. But had a really good cardio session. So I just did 30 minutes list on the Stairmaster, which is basically just keeping your heart rate relatively low, which is good for recovery as well, and just blood flow in general. I forgot to get some bin bags actually. I seem to be going through cucumber at the minute, of all things. So we're in a fat loss phase as well. We're gonna be in this about 6 to 8 weeks. We're gonna see how I get on. My first proper fat loss phase, by the way, since I'd say like a year and a half ago, possibly longer actually. Like it's been a while. Got 3 tubs of this Skyer Greek yogurt. This is such good consistency. I seem to be going through a little bit too much, to be honest. Like I've just basically had one of these as I walked through the door because I was quite hungry. Whenever I've done cardio, I feel like I need to eat there and then, or I start getting grumpy. So I got 3 things of these for yogurt bowls, and you can also make really nice like creamy sauces as well, which is what I love doing. Got some 90% dark chocolate. I find this wild because I used to be a milk chocolate person. Like the fact that I eat this now is a little bit wild because, yeah, I was never a dark chocolate person, but I feel like I've just got used to it. Like I started at like 70% and then I've gone to 80 and then 90, and there's a lot less actual sugar in these, or somewhat so, compared to say milk sugar, and more actual like fat content, healthy fats. So that is why I go for that, and then I just put that in my oats, like my cookie dough oats, and I'm obsessed with that, to be honest. I've got some frozen raspberries, so I get most of my fruit frozen so that I can just add them to bowls, like they don't go off as quick as well. So I pop them in. I switch between sort of raspberries, blueberries, and try have a little bit of a mix. God, this is giving health, isn't it? Not 1 cucumber, but 4. Crunchy, juicy cherry tomatoes. I love cherry tomatoes. Some mushrooms, asparagus, all the anti-inflams. Some mixed sweet peppers. These are just some of my veggie go-tos. And then some fine green beans. I've got 2 packs of these, some avocados, 2 packs, and then mixed baby leaf salad. So trying to have around 300 grams of greens each day as well, just for that fibre intake, and then avocados, obviously healthy fats, and I love making like a guacamole type thing. And then I've got some meat in, but I just got some more chicken breast, sweet potatoes, and then these little chopped tomatoes. I really like making kind of like a chili at the minute, you know, like with beef mince. You can make really nice creamy sauce with that. Okay, just got a community call at 6 p.m. So this is something that I do every Sunday inside Flowness Club community when we run our 8-week programs. So we're going over binge eating actually and how to break the binge eating cycle or restrict cycle, and then also just go over questions basically that have come up throughout the week, like any challenges, just connect as well, see where we're all at and whatever comes up that call. It's one of my favourite times of the week, so that is what I'm currently on with. Oh my lord, I can't tell you how much I have been PMSing real bad today. Like, you know them days, you know when your PMS is that bad? It's not actually that bad, but you know when your mental PMS is that bad that I honestly felt like I am not okay today. I'm really not okay. I've cried twice somehow, like just quick spurts, and I've got this, I think my toxic trait is I can't cry without like laughing at myself. I can't let myself cry. I cry and then I start laughing at myself. Like sometimes I find it hard to feel my emotions in the moment, and because I just think, oh my God, I have so much to be like, I always think of, oh, there's so many people worse off, which of course that always is, but sometimes I think that discounts your emotions, which isn't always helpful as well. Obviously not all the time, but today I was just like, come on Olivia, pull yourself together kind of thing. And I do feel like it is hormonal related, and the fact that I've just not long been back. Like I ran an ultra marathon literally last week, which I want to debrief you on. Let me make myself an electrolyte drink, because I think, you know, when you're also like, am I just thirsty today or what? Stanley Cup. So I've also got some gorgeous new electrolytes from a brand. It's a small brand that have just launched. They've actually, I think I've not done this very well in my bag, but they're called 1% Performance electrolytes, and it's in raspberry flavour. I'll have sort of 2 of these a day, more for flavour to be honest than anything else, but they've got sodium, magnesium and potassium in 1,000 milligrams, sodium 100 milligrams, magnesium. Yeah, they're really, really nice actually. And then I just fill this whole jug up. Oh my God, much better. So, obviously went to Botswana. Oh my God, I can't tell you how incredible that trip was on just like so many different levels, but was there for 10/11 days with the travel and ran my first ever ultra marathon, which are words I never thought would leave my mouth. If you'd have told me that 2 years ago, that you would go and run an ultra marathon in Africa, I'd have been like, what? There's no way. Absolutely wild. And it ended up being a different route because basically it had loads of flash flooding, so there was a lot more water in Botswana, which meant the route needed to be changed and added its own complexities for the team who were organising it. So I went with Desert and Delta, who run these safaris, and it's their first time doing this ultra trail, which is what we did, and it was part of a much bigger cause and supporting the local communities in Botswana. So we ran through some of the communities, got them involved, and the kids joined us, like running, families. We also met with a tribe in the Tofsadilo Hills when we did the run through the mountains of the gods, which was absolutely incredible, and just, it gives me actual full body tingles just even thinking back. Like, I can't tell you how incredible that was, just on so many different levels, because obviously it was physically challenging. It was so just eye-opening, and I've never been to that part of Africa before. I've been to Mauritius, but it was such a different type of trip. And I think because we basically moved, so flew to Johannesburg, which was in South Africa, and then went over to a different smaller airport, and there was a lot of travel and moving around, so it was also super exciting because there was so much sort of movement going to different parts of Botswana. Went to the edge of Namibia to a place called Chobe, which if you've seen my vlog you'll have already seen all that. Just the most incredible trip, and I'm so grateful to have seen different parts of Botswana, like totally different sort of fields, met incredible people, and there was a group of about 9 of us in total, and it was such a mixed bag. Like 2 of them were journalists who were also also doing the ultra marathon, and everyone kind of did it at their own pace. So yeah, it was me running with two guys, one of which was the Salt Pans ultra marathon, which is basically this insane desert ultra marathon. They do a 50-kilometer one and a 100-kilometer one, and he organises that, which is just insane. So I felt really grateful to be running alongside him, and he's so knowledgeable, has so much experience, and just very insane life conversations we were having. And then Mark as well was running alongside me, so he's training for a 150-kilometer. So they were ultra marathon just experienced on another level, so was asking lots of different things as well. They basically managed to conversate the whole time around. I was literally in silence for a lot of parts, fighting for my life, what it felt like. But it was across the 3 days. The route did change. One day my phone, I didn't have charge, and it was the day that we'd gone remote. So basically the first location we were running from by boat basically to start, and then the second location we ran to the Tuxedo Hills. So we'd gone by boat and then ran from a different point. Like there wasn't one day that was actually the same, which was super cool. But then in the Tuxedo Hills we were in those tents basically, so there was no charging points or anything, so I didn't have phone charge, which was actually really an experience to say the least, as in just being in the middle of nowhere like that, just with no connection either, like no internet or whatever. So that was definitely something. And then the next day we did a run through the Mountain of the Gods, which is in the Tuxedo Hills, and up hills. Like we had a bit of a climb at one point, like went to the top of this mountain, and they're basically the only huge big mountains in Botswana, so that was surreal. So did that. That was it. It was across 3 days, so that was it complete. And then we headed back to our first like location where we started from, and it was just such an experience. Then we had 3 days after that in Chobe, which was a different part, like an hour and 40 minutes from Naxmaseri, which I can't pronounce. They don't really pronounce the X the same way we do, so that was different. And yeah, just the whole trip was incredible, just seeing all the animals. I did the safari as well, and like the game drive, which is where you go out obviously and see the elephants, lions, like I saw baby hyenas. I feel like it has changed my life, to be honest, on just a lot of different levels, and I still don't feel like I've sat and just thought about everything really, but had the best time. And then I've also just been craving just routine, because I feel like I've travelled quite a lot this past few months, which has been amazing, but just I want to make some forward motion with work and be able to focus, sort of lock in. So that's kind of where we're up to with that. And it's quite nice, like I've just had a week just getting back into routine with lifting, training again, and also feel like now is the time to enter my fat loss phase, which I'm excited about. I've definitely accumulated some body fat with my marathon training block, which was inevitable because I've been fueling more, and that was never like part of my goal, but I'm ready to dial that in, lose a little bit of body fat. And I haven't done a proper fat loss phase in over, could be up to 2 years, like since, no, not 2 years, a year and a half, something like that, where I haven't done a fat loss, like proper intentional block. So I'm aiming to do this for 6 to 8 weeks, which I can't wait for. And yeah, this is going to be really exciting. So I'm going to take you throughout this process too. But yeah, it feels good to actually enter like a block like this, because it's been so long since I last did one. So I'm basically following my reset and reveal workout program, which you can also join me on if you want to focus on fat loss over these next 8 weeks. You can jump in wherever you are, and we have the app and all the tools that you need. So we've got the community platform, that's in the top line of this video's description. But let's carry on with this Sunday. So I might prep some meals, to be honest, right now, just so that I've got some lunches prepped for the week. I need to show you, by the way, my florist arrangement. So my bestest friends got me these bouquets. Ella actually had come to my house whilst I was away, organised all my drawers. She's put loads of stuff on Vinted and like cleared my wardrobes out basically, and then she got me this card, which is the cutest thing, which says, "She's only gone and become an ultramarathon runner. So proud of you. Your house is cleaned and organised. I've cleaned the fridge and put new groceries away." Is that not the cutest thing? And these flowers are on the side. And then we also went for dinner the other night, and Aaliyah, Katie and Ella surprised me with a bouquet. Like I feel like the luckiest girl in the world. I don't know what I did to deserve the most thoughtful friends like that, and it just means so much from them girlies. Love them so much. And we spent this weekend together, which has been so nice. So Ella's my childhood best friend, and then Katie and Aaliyah I met in sixth form, and we all get on so well. Like we're on the exact same page in a lot of ways. And also we started training a bit together, which is nice. And I never thought I'd see the day that we would be able to be doing like a high rock style training session, all three of us. Katie and Elliot are Pilates girlies through and through. So I've loved that. Like, I couldn't believe it's only taken me, I don't know how long to get them to a sort of like a run style class, but we went and did, it's kind of like a Barry style class, but it's called High Club. We went to one in Leeds and it was so much fun. Like, we had a whale of a time. Little habit stack that I've been keeping on top of is collagen and stacking that with glutamine for digestion. When I was traveling, I packed it, this is how serious I am, about this little combo. I must admit, I didn't do it every day. I did forget a few times, but yeah, I always bring it with me. That is how much I rate it. If you are a bloated girly, if you struggle with IBS and find that you wake up in the morning with like a bloat, if that makes sense, that is not normal. So I have this before I have my coffee as a little self-bribe. I've been trying a few different collagens. This one I actually got in LA. It's a vanilla flavour. It was actually the only one they had in stock, because the blue one, which is a marine collagen, was out of stock, but there's 20 grams of collagen, peptides per serving, and I can't tell you, I noticed the biggest difference in my skin when I'm taking collagen when I'm not. Like, you just get way more of a glow. I feel like you can really eat your skincare with so many things, as well as like nutrition changes, like adding in oily fish, salmon, anything, and having an omega-3 supplement, just as an example. You're gonna laugh. I've got my gorgeous Sage barista coffee machine that I'm having to lay off at the moment because I will go back to it. I think I need to get some different beans. But I think when I have a double shot espresso, you know, when it's like filled to the double rim, I don't know if you've seen one of these machines before, it was making me so jittery, I can't tell you. And I think because I'd have 2 coffees in a morning, it was too much. But then the thought of going to a single shot was a little bit depressing. So I've gone back to instant coffee, which I don't mind. But I just find, obviously it's nowhere near as strong, nowhere near as much caffeine, but to be honest, I think I'd put some beans in that I don't really like, so I need to try some new ones. That's what I might do that this week, and then go to maybe a single shot for a bit and just see if there's a difference. Making my cookie dough oats this morning. I'm going to use raspberries instead of blueberries today. Wait, I don't think I've shown you my nails that I got done. That took a lifetime, like, I am not kidding. We kind of match this. 50 grams of oats, and then I've just whizzed that up in the microwave. I get the really, really fine oats. They fluff and cook the quickest. And I didn't mention, so I've got this Tavio set on. The only thing is, I feel like, you know, when they've got the band, it goes like an off colour the minute you wash it. You can't really tell when you've got them on, but it bugs me a little bit. Obviously you can't wash it, there's no other way that you can wash it, even if it was on its own, like it's inevitable, isn't it, that that's gonna happen. I had my coffee here and I just had a quick look at my sleep, which I've really been working on, and I feel like it's been paying off. So I've got the Ultra Human ring, similar to an Oura ring, but I absolutely love this thing. It's so much more subtle than a Whoop band. Obviously you don't have that big like black band, and you don't feel like you have it on, if that makes sense, like if you don't love a watch or like big clunky rings. So last night I was so PMSy, like I was saying yesterday, took myself to bed. I got in bed at 9:30 and then was just watching a few things. I did get my laptop to watch some Netflix in bed, but didn't end up. And then my sleep last night, 10 p.m. Oh, it's a good sleep report. So total sleep, time in bed. I'll put it on the screen if I can, or if you can see it on here. 7:43 time in bed, 7 hours, 8 minutes, which for me is not too bad. I woke up at 5 a.m, I looked at the time, like I was wide awake, and then forced myself to go back to sleep. I can't quite get over that. Like I feel like my body just naturally likes about 7.5 hours. Like I'm not really an 8-hour person. Like that takes me a lot to be able to sleep for that amount of time. Basically, I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to keep that consistent this week because I am feeling it so much. Like especially I've been going through a lot. Wake up with anxiety, guys. Not all the time, but like this morning, the minute I open my eyes, I wake up with anxiety, and I have to really work on the thoughts that are coming into my brain and replace them rather than let them spiral, which is what I've had many mornings do. Like, you know, the minute you open your eyes, like they come in thick and they can kind of get worse, whereas I'm like, right, that thought's not logical, it's not true, and then I'll reprogram it just with things like I'm grateful, I'm safe. Like I say these words a lot, I am safe, and I'm sharing this with you because this is just what I'm going through. Like I like to keep it real with you on here, and not everything's all hunky-dory at times. And I'm also going to put on a playlist right now, like a happy playlist, which does the trick every single time. Everything hallelujah, actually. Like I'm loving Justin Bieber at the minute. I've got some new protein that I've been liking. I actually discovered this from buying, like I needed some protein pouches to take with me to Africa rather than taking obviously a full bag because I was really limited on the luggage front. So discovered Form, and I actually tried some of their bars. I don't have loads of protein bars, but for travel they're great. And then this protein powder, which I really like, the consistency is more liquidy, but the taste is so good. And I've tried, because I had the little pouches, I tried all different flavours, like this one's chocolate hazelnut, and I'm so fussy with protein, especially with the flavour and taste. When it's a vegan one, I find vegan protein is a lot easier to digest, but this is really great. I'm liking it for shakes, things like that. And then it is runnier, like you can see here, it's more liquidy, but I'm thinking if I can add something to it to thicken it up, but I haven't discovered that just yet. Oh shit. Disconnected. Okay, it's kind of sunk. Yeah, this is really runny actually today. I don't want to show you what that looks like. Tastes good though. Enough of that. I've just come out of a in-person meeting to go into a car meeting, keeping it real, because we're making it work from the car today. I'm going to turn this off. The only thing is it's rather warm, so I've just hotspotted for internet on the mobile telephone. Now, how do I get this up? I need to sync. No, it is on my calendar. Add to calendar. But where is this said calendar? So this is with Beth. It's an account management call. Hello.
Hello. Has anyone ever told you that Olivia Dean?
Never had that.
I've always thought it. I think it's to do with the dark hair, but I think it's also just like the energy that you give out. And then I went to see Olivia Dean on Saturday with Alex, and I said, Olivia Jarvis really reminds me of her. He was like, yeah, I can see it.
Really?
Normally, like, I can say to Alex like, oh, so-and-so looks like such and such, or reminds me of such and such, and he's like, no, that is so off. So then I thought, right, I'm going to sense check it with Alex when we're actually watching Olivia Dean. He was like, yeah, I see it.
Oh my, weirdly, one of my most viral ever videos on Instagram, the Olivia Dean song. Woof! Feels like a hot summer's day, I'll tell you that. Let's get ourselves to a cafe and get in front of my laptop now. I've just been from my laptop, but just been on a call. It is now 2 o'clock. I am going to drive to Rudding Park, which is one of my favourite places to go and work. I brought that meal prep with me that I ate. I'm going to stop off and grab a little yoghurt pot. I might get a flat white or something at this coffee shop, but I'm going to do that going forward and just prep my lunches so that I don't either have to go home or think about food, and then I'm not also ravenous hungry. I'm loving working out of the house at the moment for things like laptop tasks. Like, it just means I can lock in. If you've got a very busy brain and you're going like me, where like just There's always stuff going on up here. I have to work outside the house if I'm doing something sat at my laptop, otherwise I just end up sat in the fridge, literally opening the fridge every 2 minutes and getting distracted or putting on 5 million washes and then somehow ending up just doing really random stuff, like I'll be with my Hoover or doing stuff. One of those days, you know, when your stress levels are like up here, and I found myself in my garden putting this magic patio spray on my patio with my sweeping brush, like running around my garden. And then I was like, how has this happened? Like, someone tell me how I've suddenly taken it upon myself that my patio needs cleaning right here, right now, and I didn't have a jet wash. Like, it just didn't make sense. So yeah, so that was funny. Okay, let's get a move on anyway. I think I've shown you actually my outfit. So I've got jeans on and then this white wrap top. My hair's not hairing today, I don't think. Like, this fringe definitely needs sorting out, but very comfy, floaty. It's quite warm and sunny out, but just got to Running Park where I'm going to get the biggest work block you have ever seen. I'm going to put a time block on, as in time my actual tasks so that there's no messing about. Put headphones on and concentrate. How cool are these bathrooms, by the way? Oh, she means business. We're standing on business today. By the way, I've just ordered some water. There's an outside bit, like an outside terrace, that looks really appealing, but I know I won't end up concentrating if not. I've just got some water. Fun fact, I actually don't like cold water. I always ask for without ice. And then I've got an oat milk. Oh god, I feel like I'm like shaking. An oat milk. An oat milk, flat white. I've got 2 notepads out. I've got my journal, like just like a blank page journal, and then I've done a written to-do list. I've ticked off the stuff that I do. Like, I always write down what I've done, just so that I know I've like been productive, because it's 2:30, 2:45 even. So yeah, I'm gonna get cracking. Now that it's lighter on an evening, how much better is it? Just spring is springing, isn't it? I'm really enjoying these spring vibes, so much so. So yeah, that is that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reset day. I've loved this, needed this in my soul, to be honest, even if I had the worst PMS in the world. I'm so grateful to have you here, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. If you'd like to see more of these vlogs, pop that in the comments down below so I know what you want to see more of from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay.